Hey Leo, welcome to your May 2021 general reading. It is general, so take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Be sure to check your sun, moon, rising, and midheaven, if you know what that is. Otherwise, let's dive into it. I'm going to pull 3 cards just to get us started. And then go from there. Just see what May has in store. There's something about oranges coming up. I don't know, for some reason I'm thinking of someone eating an orange, or even playing with an orange ball, maybe a basketball or something like that. That's just for some of you out there, in case that's a thing. But let's see what else is going on here. Also thinking about orange, because it's like an orange sphere, so I'm also thinking orange like a yolk, like an egg yolk. Which to me could symbolize a couple different things, because the yolk is where like the fat is, and so it's like kind of chewing on the fat of a situation. I don't really remember what that saying means, but something like chew on the fat, also maybe, or cut out the fat. Either way, but I don't know. Sometimes these things come through and I'm like, I'm not quite sure what you mean. So, anywho, we have 6 of Pentacles, Temperance, 5 of Wands. I wanted to say 6 of Wands, but that's not the case. So, Leo, 6 of Pentacles, I feel like you're going to be offered something to kind of play around with, to experiment with. It may not make a lot of sense to you at first, which is why you're being called to kind of be playful, be diligent. I feel like it's you maybe putting information together. Perhaps there's maybe a job or a position or something for you, or maybe someone offers you advice or a hot tip that then you are trying to then work with in some capacity, or prepare yourself to take advantage of in some way, shape, or form. But with this 5 of Wands here, I feel like there's kind of a wrench that's thrown into whatever this is that you end up playing around with here. And it could also be you trying not to get into that space. Maybe you get some news or something, or maybe someone is trying to impress upon you their idea of doing something. Or maybe you're worried about someone who supposedly has it all figured out. Because I feel like a sense of like shame, like not wanting to be like looked at or called upon in some way. And so it's like you're kind of keeping your distance from whatever this situation, whatever this 5 of Wands energy is. Yeah, which is very interesting. All right, let's see what else we have going on. So we have the 3 of Swords here at the bottom of the deck, which suggests to me is like there's some feelings maybe that you're holding back or trying to suppress in some way, a way that you feel about someone, or needing to know how they feel about you. It could be, again, tied to this 5 of Wands energy that I'm feeling here. And it's like, you know, I feel like you also could have like given up on a situation. You're like, please, I've had enough. I can't do it anymore. I feel like some type of like emotional distraught that could potentially be this 5 of Wands energy. And I feel like if you're not careful, you're going to want to start a conflict where there doesn't need to be any. I feel like you could end up embarrassing yourself if you end up showing up in a way that is like not kosher, right? And so, yeah, maybe chewing on the fat there is like really getting a sense for all of the extra stuff, the depth of a situation, right? Taking time to be deliberate in whatever it is that you're doing in order to get to the meat of a situation, to get to like the center, the thicker, like substantial bit of what's going on. And so it's like you're trying to, maybe you're spending too much time on extra things and avoiding it, right? Or you're kind of buying your time until you can figure out or get to that substantial piece of information, or whatever it is that allows you maybe to express your emotions here. But whatever it is, it's like the universe is trying to cut you a break here. And I feel like there's a gift, and it's kind of unexpected, and that's why you're trying to figure it out, right? It's got you maybe kind of on edge. Maybe you feel like something's being withheld from you. Maybe you feel like you've been left out, and it's like, or maybe that you've made the wrong choice. Maybe the world has offered you, or the universe has offered you two separate things, and you chose something that looked a little more visually appealing, right? But isn't necessarily the thing, right? Or like it's appealing, but not, it doesn't have as much depth to it. And maybe that's why you're trying to make it work somehow, trying to be patient here in some way. For some of you, I also get the idea of maybe some type of renovations that could be going on. Something being constructed is also something that's coming to mind. So maybe if something's offered to you, it's not quite there yet in its complete form. And so there's some work that still has to be done that you could be preparing yourself for. And maybe you're taking a little time to yourself in order to refine it and get it just right before someone checks in or ends up watching what you're doing, right? Because it's like me when I'm like doing math. I'm like, I don't want anyone over my shoulder. Just let me do the math and I'll tell you what the answer is. So it could be something like that, honestly. On the other side of the deck here, we have the Two of Swords. So what I feel here is that you feel like you have a difficult decision to make, but I feel like part of it has to do with ego, right? I feel like there's a kind of like a little bit of like back and forth going on in your headspace right now. And it's like, because there's something that feels a little bit incomplete. But it's like maybe you're not wanting to fully admit that. And it's like maybe it's good for you to have something to show, to have the bare bones of something to show in order to then have a collaborative effort, maybe bring in new perspectives. But I feel like there's something where it's like you don't really want that, and that's totally fine. But it's like, is it because you feel like there's some type of inferiority complex that would go on if someone else were to consult you in some way, shape, or form here? That's just something to think about here, Leo. That one wanted to come out really quick. Grounded. All right, so there we go. That's one. And so I feel like, and we have Magic. And we have the Death card, but the Death card is in reverse. Okay. So I feel here with this Grounded, this Magic, and this Death card, what I'm really kind of feeling here is that you have to feel secure with what you're accepting, right? You made a choice, accept it, right? There's something, it's like if something's being dealt to you, you just got to do what you can and like put your energy into it fully. And I feel like with this Magic card, like it just reminds me mind over matter, mind over matter. Or are you allowing matter to rule your mind? What's the matter? What's the matter here, Leo? What is wrong here, Leo? I feel like you're not quite ready to give something up or allow something new to take shape. And so it's like, maybe you need to break certain habits. Have you worked like this before? Does this remind you of another time in your life that you've worked through? And it's like, are you continuing to like perpetuate things? And here at the bottom, we have Focus in the reverse. So it's like, there's something that has you a little bit unfocused. Whatever you're looking toward, you need to look. And I think I said this to, I want to say it was probably Gemini, but it's like, you put out the blame and there are three fingers that are going back at you. So it's like whatever your focus is, that you want for your own development or for your own sense of security, there are fingers pointed back at you. And it's like, okay, this might be good to have, but are you also going to be the person it takes to be able to have it and enjoy it? Or are you going to take it for granted as soon as you receive it and then want something else, right? So it's like making sure you're not chasing any type of instant gratification here. It's like, how can you move in new ways that give you gratitude for the long haul, that where you feel appreciated and are appreciating of someone or something for the long haul? I just feel like it's just, maybe you're continuously setting the bar at different levels, chasing something in order to distract yourself from what really is at the core of the situation here. So let's see what else. We have the Lovers card reversed. So it's like, I feel like your heart's not in it. You're not really dedicated to it, whatever it is. You just want something because it looks good, right? Then we have this Three of Wands here. And it's like, but again, I was talking about that distance. And it's like, you want to be able to kind of see, or how do you affect things from afar? It's like, you want to see how wide your influence goes, where your reach goes in some way, shape, or form. And it's almost like you're wanting someone to come back to you or something to come back to you. But I feel like you've already crossed this type of threshold where you've made your choice. You've moved away. And I feel like that was all that needed to be said. That was all that someone needed to know in response to something here. And I feel like there are like maybe two people in particular that you move from because there's something about them that you just don't want to feel watched or viewed by them, or maybe you don't want to see what they're up to. And it's like, maybe this has to do with like a social media cleanse or something like that. I don't know, but whatever it is, I feel like that's something that's coming up. And it's funny because then egg, I'm thinking break fast, breakfast, break fast. And then we have Page of Cups here. And I feel like you end up being pleasantly surprised by something, or I feel like the people that you move away from are too distracted to care what's going on because they're playing with their own stuff, right? So it's like whatever you do, whatever you're working on, whatever you're trying to formulate, if this is a work situation or what have you, it's like no one's actually paying you any mind, so relax. Part of being patient is relaxing and being grounded and being present and with whatever it is that you're preparing for, right? And it's like, don't worry about, let other people figure out their other stuff. Like people aren't really watching you to see what you're doing right now until it's time for you to show it, or it's time for you to call people in should you choose to, right? That's just something that I kind of have going on here. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff about needing to acknowledge your relationship with yourself here and what you accept, right? Like when we feel like we lack something, sometimes we compensate by trying to get other things to give us the appearance of, being this or being that. And that in its own right is a bit deceitful, right? So I feel like there's a certain level of honesty that's being called upon here. Here we have the Empress. Yeah, so I feel like the Empress is someone who's very straightforward, very alluring, someone who is able to tell it like it is, and actually has a strong amount of persuasion about them. But I'm feeling like there's something kind of frozen in terms of like, and this could be you, but I feel like you're kind of frozen in time in terms of maybe something that's happened in the past, maybe feeling like you haven't had the chance to lead or feel super comfortable in a situation. And so it's like, there are all these kind of like spots in your past that are keeping you a bit frigid and keeping you from moving and flowing with things in a way that feels comfortable to you. Because then we have this Four of Cups also. So it's this kind of like stubborn energy here. And I almost feel like this Empress is the one trying to offer this Four of Cups, but you're just kind of focused on like what you have, what you don't have. You're just kind of focused on something else, something that you like. It's like almost like keeping up with the Joneses or something like that. It's kind of like grass is always greener on the other side is what I'm getting. We have the Ten of Pentacles reversed, and it's like you got to be careful. You got to be careful, Leo, of how you think about things. Don't make any assumptions here. I feel like you got to pay attention, like with this Ten of Pentacles, it has a lot to do about maybe breaking away from some type of commitment here, breaking away from something that's super long term, because I feel like you're blind to something. It's like you're trying to feel like you got to feel your way through something in order for it to be right for you. And I just feel a lot of stuff about appearances, like being hung up on appearances. And I feel like with this Empress and this Four of Cups person, it's like there's someone here who looks super elegant, and then the Four of Cups is someone who's just in like comfy clothes, right? And it's like, just don't be fooled by appearances here. That doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. Sometimes, people are really showing who they are on the inside, and sometimes people aren't. And that just depends on certain areas, certain seasons of our lives, right? And so it's like, don't be fooled by outward appearances. Don't be so externally focused or materialistic at this time, Leo. It's very important for you to get down to the heart of the matter. Stop trying to gnaw on things that aren't sustainable, that aren't really feeding you. Here we have the Four of Wands on the other here, and it's like I feel like you're so far from the finish line in something, and it's like you just want to hurry up and get to a place where you feel secure and you feel good. But I feel like, again, there's this need to like slow down and really get to a place of like maturity here, like to really look at those spaces where you find, or those people where you see or sense that certain level of maturity, and to connect with those types of people. That could be your sounding board in some way. And I feel like there's part of you that may not even want to completely settle down in a certain way with a certain group of people, and so it has you restless. So when you see certain things that may trigger you in some way, it's like you feel like there are certain things that you would have to give up in order to have that, so it doesn't feel like freedom. And so that's kind of all I'm gonna say about that, because that was just something that came in like really quick. Really quick here. Also with this Page of Cups, I want to say that there's someone who might be kind of playful or like playing around. This is kind of a different energy coming in, looking at this, but it's like I feel like there's one person who's, with this Three of Wands, it's like there's one person who's really looking forward to the future, maybe has made certain investments or put out certain things, and now they're just kind of like patiently waiting. And then there's this Page of Cups energy that's like really playful and focused on what's right in front of them, you know, and always gets like some type of pleasant surprise. It's like this person that's filled with luck, right? And I almost feel like you're at a choice or a crossroads between like these two different types of people or energy or situation. And so it's really important for you to take note, because again, I'm just thinking about that Six of Pentacles, and it's like, you know, like which one do you actually want here? You know, do you want something that's closer to you, or are you willing to take the time for something that's a little bit further away? Do you want something that really pops and, you know, seems in line with the space, or do you want something that might be a little bit different, may seem a little bit smaller, right? But it could pack a punch, you know, in a different way. So it's like, you know, some of the best gifts come in surprising packages. There we go. All right. So anyways, I've talked long enough. Thank you so much for your time. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Check out the description box below if you'd like to book a reading with me. Outside of that, I will see you all next time. Bye.